Well, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimSpeed TV. My name is Scotty Fountain and I'll be your host for this evening's event, and tonight we bring you coverage for round 10 of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series, in which tonight we're coming to you live from an absolutely amazing track known as Suzuka, and we're running the Grand Prix configuration tonight. Joining me in the commentary box, and it's an absolute pleasure to have him, regular on the V8s Online channel team, and this is Stephen Sandman Clark. How you going there, Sandman?
Good, mate. Looking forward to a little bit of V8 action for 2016. It's the first for myself, so really looking forward to it. And what a racetrack, Suzuka. This place really turns it on for V8 supercars, and no doubt there'll be no shortage of action tonight.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be great, mate, and it's really good to have you on board. Certainly blow the cobwebs off for the V8 Scop Series starting this weekend, mate.
That's exactly right, mate. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss round one, so I'm not too happy about that. It'd be nice to sort of do round one, but unfortunately other commitments got in the way. But it's good to actually take part here at SimSpeed TV and do the round for the OSR boys for Suzuka. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, cool, mate. Thanks again. Our second of our commentators for tonight, and a regular on the Wednesday nights OSR V8 Supercar Series commentary team, and that's Luke Emerton. Great to have you back, Luke.
Yeah, thanks Fonty, and hi Sam. Yeah, it's a good night tonight. Just had a free meal down at the in-laws place, and managed to get back just in time for the racing this evening. So yes, always good down at Suzuka, as Sam said. Lots of action and GP layout, some high speed, some tight corners, and yeah, should be really good to watch.
Yeah, it certainly will be, mate. And yeah, we were certainly treated to a good race last week. We had Ian Ford absolutely clean up last week, from Joshua Rogers finishing second. Kurt Stenberg finished third, which was a great effort from him, but we'll focus on tonight's event. So we're at the Suzuka Grand Prix circuit, based in Japan, 26 metres above sea level. It has a 60 km/h pit lane speed limit, 5.75 k's long, 17 turns, and tonight's race distance is 30 laps. We go over the page. Partly cloudy in this qualifying server, a air temperature of 22 degrees, a track temperature of 36, 47% humidity, and 0% fog, with 6.9 km/h wind speed. So we'll just look at the guys on track at the moment. We have 7 minutes left in this qualifying server. And we've got Joshua Rogers on 1, Ian Ford on 2, Blake Coppo on 3, Michael Cracknell on 4, and Brendan King on 5. So you boys had many opportunities to cut laps around this awesome circuit?
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a good layout for V8 supercars. I haven't done a lot of laps around here, unfortunately, but it can be quite tricky, especially the first part of the racetrack where you're up through the S's. You really got to keep the car online just to benefit from a hot lap around this racetrack. But what about you, Luke? It's been a little while for me, but how about yourself?
Yeah, unfortunately, didn't get to do the Dev Series last night as I normally like to run. But yeah, in the past I've run a fair few laps around here, and yeah, I do enjoy this circuit. It is quite long and can be quite punishing if you don't get your lines right, especially, as you say, through those S's, and also that hairpin just after the bridge there normally creates a bit of havoc with a fast kind of kink into that hairpin. You see a lot of moves made down there. So yeah, it should be exciting racing tonight.
Yeah, now as we just look at the championship points, and we do have Michael Cracknell, he's leading the series. Joshua Rogers missed one round, so that dropped him back to second. So Cracknell sitting on 2,480 points, and Rogers sitting in second on 2,324. Then we go back to Ian Ford, he's on 2,213, and then Kurt Stenberg on 2,049. Ryan O'Sullivan sitting in fifth on 1,770, and our very own Simon Black on 1,769. Brenton Hobson on 1,760, and Matt Jones closely behind on 1,669. Then Greg Sharp in 9th on 1651, and Marty Atkins rounding out your top 10 on 1576. So Sam, we've certainly been treated to some great racing so far throughout the series. Joshua Rogers has showed some great pace, and I think he's definitely going to be one to watch out for in the V8 Scop series.
It's good to see him cutting. He's cutting some pretty good times here too. I was just having a look at his practice times at 2:04.4 for practice, and he's already gone 2/10 quicker for qualifying. So laying down a 4.2. So he's definitely hooked up tonight. And like you said, there's not too many minutes. We're just sort of 4.5 minutes left in qualifying. So it's good to see he's getting his eye in, and yeah, no doubt he will be a threat for V8 Scops this year.
Yes, and as we talk about V8 Scops, we have the first round this Sunday at the awesome Montreal circuit, and that will be 30 laps of that circuit for the main race, I believe.
What a racetrack.
Yeah, awesome racetrack. We've had lots of interest, lots of people sign up. I think we've had over 120 people sign up so far for the series, and the series is certainly going from strength to strength, and we have some great things planned for the 2016 season, which we have 15 rounds for you guys this year. So we'll just take a look at the calendar. So yeah, this weekend is the first round at Montreal. Then we go off to Watkins Glen in the second round. Sonoma will be the third round in April the 3rd, and then Sebring on April the 24th. Road Atlanta on May the 8th, and the legendary Spa circuit on May the 22nd. Oran Park on June the 5th, and Indianapolis Motor Road Track will be on July the 3rd. So keep an eye out on the V8's Online channel. We will be streaming the broadcasts on both V8's Online and SimSpeed TV. And there'll be plenty of action for you guys this year.
Well, you're not wrong, mate. Tell you what, V8 racing this season is, well, I think we're truly getting sport, because like we are for tonight for the OSR series, and of course you got the official series, and of course V8 Scops. So I don't know that online V8 Supercar racing has been much healthier than it is at the moment. So I think we're all pretty spoiled for the amount of V8 racing we can all do, and it does cater for everyone. It doesn't matter how much talent you've got, whether you're a Madison Down or a Sandman.
Yeah, and certainly the car that iRacing is producing these days, the V8 Supercar, is, you know, going from strength to strength. I certainly enjoy driving the car. It takes a little bit more to get used to than most of the other cars available on iRacing, but once you get the hang of it, it's an absolute beast to drive.
Yeah, once I had my first drive in one of these things, I was quite hooked, and as you say, they are a bit of a beast to tame, and it does make some of the other cars on the server a little bit easier to drive if you can muster one of these things around a racetrack with some decent speed. So yeah, it's as you say, it's all skill levels with the OSR dev series as well, and yeah, always fun.
It looks like we've got a new leader in qualifying at the moment. While we were there busy talking away, Ian Ford's gone on the top of the timesheets with a 2:04.209 over Josh Rogers in second. So very close between those two, a 2:04.2 to a 2:04.238. So very close.
Yeah, well, so talking about that, these guys have been inseparable all season. We saw Rogers certainly have the pace earlier on in the earlier rounds, but Ian Ford has certainly come back on all fours and certainly brought it to Rogers last week. I think he won the race by just about 20 seconds. And yeah, it's been some great battles between these two. They've had contact and taken each other out, really pushing it hard. So good to see. These guys will certainly be contenders for the championship this year in the V8 Scop series. We've got 34 drivers signed up in this server. We do have 2 servers for tonight. We have about 12 people in the other server, so about 45 cars signing up for tonight's event, and we will be covering the top split as usual. Qualifying just finishes up now, and it looks like we've got Ian Ford. He's going to take it, and Joshua Rogers is on a lap, so we'll just stay with him, see how he goes.
Like Rogers, he's got a bit of track position, which is good. There's no one around him, there's no one to balk him on a lap, but I just don't know what sort of condition his tyres are in at the moment, whether he's up on this split or not. But the good thing is he's got a clear bit of racetrack, so only about the last quarter of a lap to go.
As he comes down now to the famous 130R, where the F1s take this at over 300 kilometres an hour, but in a V8 definitely a downshift and a turn in there. There's no way you can go flat through there, and now a nice tricky section into the last chicane complex, which determines your good run or bad run onto the straight.
He's 0.061 off pole position. Is he going to do it? No, doesn't quite do it, so... Oh, he does.
Yeah,
He
I was
goes
going to say...
top. Well done, Joshua Rogers, a 2:03.982. So he managed to pit Ian Ford there for first place, so well done to Joshua Rogers.
It's a fair improvement too. You just have a look at his practice time, 2:04.459 to a 2:03.9. So you only went into the threes at this stage, and there's only a few seconds left of qualifying as far as everyone being able to finish the current lap they're on. So he's done a great job.
Yes, so as we look at the qualifying results, so we've got Joshua Rogers on 1, Ian Ford on 2, Michael Cracknell on 3, Blake Copper on 4, Brendan King on 5, Sean Evans on 6, Ross Rizzo on 7, Brendan Hobson on 8, Cooper Murray on 9th, and Matt Jones rounding out your top 10. Go over the page. Mahia Ladishoff on 11, Marty Atkins on 12, Josh Cook on 13, Gary Copper on 14, Michael Tallet, I can't actually say his last name, sorry guys, on 15, Jordan Murphy on 16, Simon Black on 17, Joshua Sortel on 18, Luz Gallen on 19, and Sean Thompson on 20. So that will round out our qualifying session for tonight. So we'll have another server go up in about 10 minutes time from now, in which we will take a short little break and leave you with some footage to watch, and we'll join you back in about 10 minutes time. So this is SimSpeed TV's coverage of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series, and we're covering round 10 of the series, and we're coming to you live from the Suzuka Grand Prix circuit.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
I'm Dan Garrison, software engineer at iRacing. Since the beginning of Papyrus and through iRacing, the track has been unchanging through a session. Whatever you have at the beginning is what you have for the duration of the session and the end. The track doesn't change. What we want to do is be able to have the track respond to what's going on, to have cars interact with the track, to have the track change in temperature, in the amount of rubber. We want marbles, and we want those to be generated by the cars, putting them where they should be and picking them up and rethrowing them off the race line. It's a physical-based model that we focus on first and foremost. The tire and the track interaction, what's really going on there. It would be easy to just quickly throw something together. Our standards are, it needs to make sense. what's really going on, even at the molecular level between the track and the tire. The way the track works, essentially, is we divide it up into small cells that your car interacts with. So if you're adding temperature to a certain part of the track, we can pretty accurately know exactly where that is. That gets transmitted to the server. So if I'm in a race, my data is going to the server with everybody else in the session. The server accumulates that and basically broadcasts a consistent track state to everyone, so everyone's got the same track that they're racing on. One of the big challenges was being able to implement this dynamic track with any number of clients connected and have it just work as you would expect. Have it be the same for everyone in the service who's in a session. So to kind of give a little bit of a preview of the state of things right now, I basically have run a number of laps at 5 flags with the effects exaggerated for demonstration purposes so that we can kind of immediately see what's going on with the track. Right here is basically the track at the beginning of the session. There is a little bit of rubber on there that's put programmatically. That's the starting state of this track, and it's fairly low rubber at this point. If we skip ahead to the end, I did about 30 laps, so at the very end, you can kind of see all this stuff. This is where I was running the car, so there you go. And again, this is exaggerated. A single car in 30 laps is not going to darken the track anywhere near this level. We also have the ability to see the IR camera. At the beginning of the session, it's a little bit warm down here. It's very cool up here. As we skip ahead, all of a sudden this part of the track has become very warm. This is where I was running the car. And we can also drag the thumbnail and see the effect of time as the track cools off and returns back to its equilibrium state. Before we had fairly symmetrical tracks. Now, because the sun is shining at some angle, one side of the track might be particularly hot, and 180 degrees around the track is going to be significantly cooler because the sun isn't really pointing at that. So you're on a track where maybe you basically treated it as 2 equal halves. Now you need to adjust to that. With multiple cars over a long race, you're going to have to seek out where's the grip, where's it going, how is the track changing. It's going to require a much more intelligent approach to racing. You're going to have to be able to handle the track through the life of the race. So in addition to temperature and rubber, we're also spending a lot of time in marbles on the track. They should be later in a race. Expect to be marbles offline, and so a pass might be a little more sketchy later in the race because you have to go through part of the track.
Welcome back to tonight's coverage for round 10 of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series. Joining me in the commentary box tonight, Stephen Sandman Clark and Luke Emerton, and it's certainly going to be a great round of racing. We have Joshua Rogers managed to just put it on pole with Ian Ford closely behind on second. We have 2 minutes left of the warm-up server, and then we're straight into a 30-lap race around this challenging circuit. Who's your guys' pick tonight for the win, guys?
Oh, geez. Just qualifying was interesting to see Ian Ford and Josh Rogers go at it. So I think it's going to be out those two. We saw some impressive times laid down. So, and 30 laps, these guys have definitely got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they certainly do, Sam, man. Really challenging track. Quite hard on tyres. Easy to burn up rubber around here. Especially through those S's. So Michael Cracknell, he'll be starting off third position. We don't actually have the official qualifying results yet for you. iRacing only put them up moments before the race starts. So in about a minute 20 we'll get those for you. So 36 drivers in tonight's server. It'll be a great race, I reckon. Always a challenge into turn 1.
So what was good to see is times in qualifying. We touched on that Josh Rogers is actually the first and only driver in qualifying to get into the 203s. So looks like he's very comfortable with his car at this stage. 203.982 I think his time was, and next best was Ian Ford with a 204.209. So impressive times there, and these guys will no doubt be battling it out. You said they've had some good tussles throughout the season, and there's no doubt that Suzuka will continue that trend. 30 laps around here, and like we said, the battle into turn 1. These guys will, hopefully everyone will think about that it's a long race, and it's so easy to make a mistake in turn 1 with all the cars bunched up together, and it's easy just to throw away a race, but I'm sure everyone will have their heads screwed on.
Yeah, certainly will. So now we have the qualifying results have come up. So we've got Joshua Rogers on 1, Ian Ford on 2, Michael Cracknell on 3, Blake Coppo on 4, Brendan King on 5, Michael Hammond on 6, Anthony Kernich on 7, Jason Bent on 8, and Sean Evans 9, Ross Rizzo rounding out your top 10. Brenton Hobson on 11, Cooper Murray on 12, Matt Jones on 13, Mahia Ladyshoff on 14, and Marty Atkins rounding out your top 15. So just get ready now for the lights. And the lights go on.
Green, green, green.
And away green, and we're racing now.
Good start there by Rogers. Look at him trying to... Looks like Ford didn't quite get away. Might have got a little bit of wheel spin going into turn 1, so he's dropped a couple of spots there. But Josh Rogers, nice move into first place over Michael Cracknell. Blake Coppo third, Brendan King fourth, Michael Hammond there. They're all trying to battle through. Looks like a nice clean start.
Yeah, terrible start there for Ian Ford. He's sitting back in 4th position. We might just go back and have a look and see what happened there for him to have that happen. But yeah, excellent start by Rogers. Michael Cracknell following closely behind. Oh, car round there in the back. And
yeah, Brendan King.
Oh, Brendan King. He'll be disappointed with that. He gets away going now. Rest of the field managed to get through there reasonably cleanly. Let's have a look back and see what happened to King there. Oh, he's just touched the grass and gone around. He'll be absolutely gutted with himself there.
Oh, big moment up the front, Josh Rogers. He was so lucky. Got the left rear onto the grass and nearly threw it away. Unbelievable. Great little save there for Josh Rogers.
go back and have a look at that.
Oh, that was close. That could have been ugly. He would have been holding his breath for that one for sure. He's got himself a nice little margin, first over second. So second, like I said, Michael Cracknell. In third, Ian Ford. So nice little recovery for Ian after that shocker of a start. He'd be kicking himself there, but plenty of laps under his belt to make up the ground.
Yeah, well, we just went back and had a look at that replay of Joshua Rogers, and certainly think he'll be changing his underpants after that one. Very close to losing it there. So as we complete lap 1, there's Joshua Rogers. He's out in front now. 0.7 of a gap back to Michael Cracknell, and Ian Ford is on the hunt down, sitting in third. Oh, as Michael Cracknell slightly runs wide there. No grass to lose it, but he's certainly lost a little bit of a gap there to Rogers. The gap opened up now to 0.9 of a second, and Ian Ford is closing in on him fast.
Yeah, Ford's doing a good job. He knows he's got pace on his side, so what he just needs to do is calm down. He'll be disappointed about the start, but he knows all he has to do is put that behind him now. He's got good car pace. Just settle down, hit his marks, and just settle into a groove for these opening laps, because he's definitely got car pace to fall back on later, and he's really starting to make ground on the front too, which is good.
Yes, and as we just go back and have a look at the start from Ian Ford.
Is it just wheel spin maybe that I think that just caught him out?
Yeah, well, we're going to ride on board with him. See what happens. Oh, he's headed in 5th gear. Reasonably clean start by the whole field, not too many incidents. Good look at your top 10, so we've got Rogers in 1, Cracknell on 2, Ian Ford on 3, Blake Cropper on 4, Sean Evans sitting in 5th, Michael Hammond there in 6th, Brenton Hobson in 7th, Cooper Murray in 8th, Jason Bent in 9th, and Anthony Kunich running out your top 10.
A reasonable start for these guys. Like I said, they all just need to find themselves into a bit of a groove and just settle down with these cars. They'll be getting a real good feel of how these things are starting to feel, because obviously these cars change a little bit. If you're not familiar with driving a V8 Supercar, of course, as the tyre wear dissipates and you've got your fuel load, that'll start to lighten up. So these cars do go through a bit of a change, but early laps for these guys, they just need to get themselves into a bit of a rhythm, and I see things starting to close up a little bit. Josh Rogers in first, Cracknell in second, and of course Ian Ford recovering from that awkward start.
Back at the fight for 15, 16, 17. All over the back of Gary Cooper.
So Simon just trying to set him up for a good run down this straight. The drafts are pretty important with these cars. You can definitely benefit. So find that Black trying to sneak a little bit of draft there for Gary Cooper, but he's doing the same because he's got a car in front of him as well. So these guys hard onto the brakes, get the cars turned in. Looks like the cars are behaving reasonable for these guys, but definitely want to make a charge as these laps go on, because the leaders are just slowly starting to pull away on these guys. Nice and close there for Simon Black as he gets to the back of Gary Cooper. just letting him know he's there, but it looks like he's getting a good run on the front straight. A little bit of a wiggle there for Simon Black as he pulls a gear. He's going to get a bit of momentum down the front straight, and he'll get an inside move here. So it's going to be under brakes as Simon Black looks on the inside of Cooper going into turn 1. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, nice and close.
Nice and close. But good to see these guys aren't rubbing with each other.
Simon's doing a good job. He's just playing the patience game. Just trying to see where he can set up his Falcon. He's getting a good run. Oh, a little bit wide there for Gary Cooper in front of him. Just closes up a little bit through the S's.
Look a little bit further up the field. The 7th, 8th and 9th. This battle's really getting on. We've got Jason Bentz, Brenton Hobson, Cooper Murray going at it. Really close between these guys.
These guys will be loving to seeing what they're seeing because all these cars are a little bunched up. Oh, I see Hobson right to the back. Cooper Murray, but not too far in front of Cooper. You got Michael Hammond. So these guys have definitely got a chance to make up a couple of spots here. It doesn't take much of these cars to make just a little bit of a mistake, outbrake themselves a bit, and these guys will be all over each other.
And keep in mind we do have a pit stop tonight. Oh, as Sean Evans now runs off the track in front of Michael Hammond. So let's close the gap a little bit there. We are now 5 laps into a 30-lap race. It's interesting to see when these guys start making pit stops for tyres. Look at the...
Oh, sorry, mate. Hammond's looking for a move up the inside. He's done it. Sean Evans. But Sean's still there. He can have a look because a crossover there is now. So side by side for Sean Evans, but Hammond gets on and holds on to it. Great job. Now Cooper Murray's right there too. He's thinking about a move, but Sean Evans just loses a spot there to Hammond.
Yeah, great move by Hammond. I don't think Evans was expecting to put it in there.
Oh, Hammond's got a little bit wide. 2 different lines there. I noticed that coming onto the front straight too. These guys have just got different lines through the turns. Working in Hammond's favour though.
Cooper Murray having a bit of a sideways moment, throwing off some tyre smoke there. As he's run wide. Oh, here we go. We're going to see a move here. Brenton Hobson. Inside of Cooper Murray, yes, here we go. Up the inside. Oh, there's going to be contact. Oh, contact between Brenton Hobson and Cooper Murray.
Cooper's going to come back there. So Elba's out there between Brenton Hobson and Cooper Murray. And up the front too a little bit further. Hammond's lost his spot to Evans while all that was going on. So Hammond's gone back to one spot. Evans has done a great job to get past him. Oh, a little bit of nose-to-tail contact there. I think Hammond's just letting him know that he's keen to get that spot back, but it's all happening back here.
It certainly is, and we've got Cooper Murray's lost the guard, so maybe some steering damage for that car.
Oh, Hammond
Oh,
and
that's
Evans.
not going to work through there.
Hammond's now on the wrong side of the racetrack though, so it works in Evans' favour. He's got the inside. Hammond's going to try and hold strong on the outside. They're side by side through the chicane. Nice bit of work for these guys. Evans is off.
Oh, Evans off the track. Oh, contact. Oh, big moment there. Oh, he's in the... Oh, no. Oh, huge
this is a
accident.
massive one. Massive
Huge accident.
Hobson, Jones manages to sneak through. Koenig is involved as well. Wow.
Wow, that was massive.
That all started
That
with a bit of
escalated quite
side by side. All through the chicane. That's how it started. Snowball effect through the chicane. Backed everyone up. And it all happened.
Wow, let's just take another quick look at that. That was huge.
Yes, and unfortunate third parties in that one, Seaman, as he just ran a bit wide there and got on that AstroTurf and really unsettled the car, and just Concertina, as you said, just held everyone up.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, isn't it? It's just see, Evans tried to give Hammond some room, got on the AstroTurf, lit up the tyres, joined the racetrack, and then made a little bit of contact there with Cooper Murray, who was trying to get through the slowing cars. And then, of course, like you said, so many innocent bystanders there. Hammond had big contact with the guardrail as well. Kernich got involved. Just a mess. It was just unfortunate for the guys that were behind that got caught up. They were just innocent bystanders.
Yeah, they certainly were, and disappointing. It was looking like it was going to be a good race to the end. As we look at the front now, and Joshua Rogers has extended his lead. Now the gap is 1.6 seconds back to Cracknell. So there is a championship on the line here between these two. Cracknell is slightly leading now. There is a drop round, 2 drop rounds. So we will probably see Joshua Rogers in front after those 2 drop rounds. So Cracknell's certainly putting the pressure on throughout this race.
It's good to see the times have come back a little bit. Last lap round there was only a tenth between Cracknell and Rogers, but the lap before that there was almost half a second. So I don't know if Cracknell had a little bit of an incident or just a little bit of a wobble or got caught up with some traffic, not sure, but it's good to see that both times there's not much in it between those two. And surprised that Ian Ford hasn't sort of roped those two in as well. So he's dropped back a little bit, but it is early stages, lap 7 of 30, so there's no quite hurry just yet.
Yeah, and we've seen over the course of this series so far, Sandman, with the pit stops playing a big role in these races, with a few undercuts happening and a few slower pit stops really costing some positions. So it'll be interesting to see. As we've seen, Ian Ford tends to like to go in a bit later than the others, so he might actually try and lead a few laps here if these two pit a bit earlier and try and work those tyres for a bit longer to have a better run in the late stint.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Sorry, go for it, Ponty. I was just going to say, how good is it to have pit stops? Just a little bit of strategy for these guys to have up their sleeve. Whether they want to roll the dice, go hard early, or there's guys that will look after their tyres and make their stint a little bit longer. It really does mix things up towards the race as it goes on.
Yeah, it certainly does. And going back to last week's race, we had Rogers was hunting down Ian Ford. He didn't quite have the pace over him. He decided to make an early stop, pitted on lap 12 out of 30. And it was just a concertina effect. Basically, as soon as Rogers pitted, the whole field came in and made their pit stops. So it will be interesting tonight as we're just watching this battle with Matt Jones, Ross Rizzo and Marty Atkins. Matt Jones just slightly dropping. He came through Spoon Curve. Knocking on the door. Good to see Marty Atkins up there in the top 10.
He's having a good drive. Looks like he started in 15th for this race, so definitely benefited from that little bit of carnage we saw a couple of laps ago. But sitting in 8th spot and not too far from 6th the way these guys are battling.
Well, certainly took out a few cars in that incident that we saw a couple of laps back. So giving these other guys an opportunity here to get in the top 10.
Yeah, it's good to see Ross Rizzo up there in position 7 just behind Jones. Those Plus Fitness cars look pretty strong the last few weeks, but had some unfortunate finishes with just getting involved in a few incidents. None of their own fault really, so good to see them pushing in the top 10 at the moment in this race.
Battle back here for 17th and 18th. Paul Preston in the Progression Racing Australia, the Identity Redesign sponsored car. He's got the car of Henry King all over the back of him. Always second if you're game enough on the brakes and can pull it up. There's always a move to be made there.
There's a few drivers in the series that don't sort of love hairpin turns, but like you said, if you're brave enough under the brakes, it's definitely a game changer if you can sort of think about a dive up the inside. But we have a look at Henry King. Look, he's got a bit of a run down this straight. That draft is just helping. I think he just thought better of it, because the last thing you want to do is go side by side through these set of corners, as we found out a couple of laps ago.
Oh, there we go. Contacts for 15th and 16th. Is he going to rejoin on the track? So that was Chris Hogan. So Mahia Ladyshoff just slightly tagged him in the rear. These guys are catching up. Looks like the car's going to be quite damaged actually. It's running quite slow in a straight line. So Paul Preston and Craig Jones slipped through. So we've got some cars I think that have made it into the pits now.
Yeah, that's really strange. I don't know if Chris got a slowdown there or something, but he seemed to check up really early in the braking zone and just run into, like, no fault of whoever that was that ran into him, but he just seemed to brake really early, and obviously the car behind wasn't expecting it and just happened to punt him off, but he did well to not do too much damage into the fence there on the inside.
Got himself in... Sorry, mate. Go.
You're alright, mate. You just go.
So he's got himself in the thick of it. Craig Jones, Preston and King all battling, and Hogan, like I said, he's managed to probably make the best of a bad situation, made contact with the wall, but it could have been a lot worse. But he's in the thick of it now, a couple of car spots, he can make those back. Hopefully there's not too much damage to that Commodore.
Yes, so we've had Ian Ford, he has made an early stop, so interesting strategy, stopping on lap 9, so still a lot of race distance to go. I guarantee those rear tyres will be down to the wire at the end of this race. He's moved up to 20th as he just slots on the inside for 19th. Darryl Hockey getting out of his way. Ford certainly on the hunt now.
So that's brave, boys. What do you reckon? Lap 9 of 30.
Yeah, pretty game.
That's yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and he's in a little bit of traffic there. Obviously he's dropped back into a little bit of a hole, but really he's going to get held up here probably, if we're honest, by a few of these cars near the rear of the middle of the field, really, because we've got 40 odd cars. So yeah, he's just got to be mindful that these drivers haven't stopped yet and they're still racing for position, and he's not going to really see any benefits of this unless he can clear these cars.
Yeah, the one thing, the tricky bit is when you do this sort of strategy, like you said, he's racing the cars around him, so they're not going to move over just because he's made a pit stop. There'll be a couple of guys that may sort of be, you know, a little bit of aware that he's got a little bit more speed on board, but they don't have to move over as such because they're all battling for position.
We do as we look at the pit stop time. So Ian Ford, he's done a 30.1 second pit stop, so that seems quite a long pit stop compared to some of the other guys who have made stops already. The average sort of being around 16 sort of seconds, so maybe he's made a mistake there on the fill. I thought he moved up to 17 P17, so he's 58 seconds behind Joshua Rogers at this stage of the race.
I was going to say, Fonty, unless he might have had a cut track that he didn't serve, or he's been done speeding in pit lane, which can be a stop hold penalty for 10-15 seconds. So that would explain the extra time, as we've got a Plus Fitness car there round under the bridge. I didn't quite catch who that was. But yeah, getting back to Ian, this is an unusual stop considering everyone else has only done about 16 seconds, which is normally 4 tyres and about 40 to 50 litres of fuel.
So that was Jonathan Hancock that we saw sitting under the bridge there, facing the wrong direction. A couple of laps down, sitting in 35th position at the moment, with no bonnet on his car. We'll look a little bit further up the field. So we've got Paul Preston, he's sitting in 11th position at the moment. Hasn't made a stop yet, but good drive from him so far in this race.
Yeah, and Ross Rizzo here having a good look at Jones up the inside into the start of the S's as they come round. And he's having a good go here. This battle group's been going on now for about 5 or 6 laps, and Rizzo just hasn't got the move done on Jones, but Jones can't shake him either, so they're having a good battle.
About 10 laps in, about where we're at now, is sort of a good chance for these guys to get a bit of an understanding of how your car's behaving, whether you've hit the setup right on or whether you're struggling for tyre grip. And like you said, this little battle with Rizzo and Jones, Rizzo was a couple of tenths quicker last time round and does look like he's a little bit more settled with the car. So Jones may be struggling a little bit, and it is like I said about this time where you guys start to get a feel for these cars and maybe start thinking about pit stop strategy.
Yeah, so we've had Craig Maker's pit stop. He was 17 on pit stop. He's moving up through the field very quickly. So he's up and sitting in 8th at the moment. He just went past Christian Suttel and Jordan Murphy.
I tell you what, that's a good little battle there in behind him as well. As Marty Atkins is close enough here to have a bit of a go, maybe into the chicane or onto the main straight here with that group that we were just watching before as well. So Rizzo's got to be careful here. He's got Jones in front of him that he's got his eyes forward, but definitely got to be careful of Atkins behind him, looking to make a move possibly as well.
Such a great racetrack. There's so many passing opportunities. Always brings a great spectacle for all the viewers. Watching Henry King and Paul Preston going at it here for 10th and 11th. Henry all over the back of the ball. Expect to see a move made here very shortly, I would think. And it's interesting, as you were touching on earlier, Sam, man, coming out of those S's, how different the lines of cars can be and how they get the run out down into the next part of the track.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how each driver attacks it. Of course, people have got their cars set up differently, but I know there are some drivers that have different driving lines, and I noticed that when I test with my TTR teammates that they approach corners differently, and probably makes up for why they're so much faster than I am. But at the end of the day, everyone has got a different approach to certain turns. But these guys that we've seen tonight, although they've been different approaches, they're still about pretty even on speed, so it's good to see.
Yes, so your Team TTR, they will be making an appearance in the V8 Scott Series this year. Who are we going to be seeing in representing the team this season, mate?
We've got all our members. We haven't had any driver movements over the off season, so it's going to be good. I know the boys are currently testing tonight. They've put themselves in a 6 or an 8 hour test session. They've gone through a few setup changes through the week, and we've thrown a few ideas around, and we did a test session earlier in the week, and the setup that we used didn't quite work well enough for us, so the guys have gone back to the drawing board. But the guys are busy, and no changes at TTR, so we're looking forward to a new season of V8 Scopso.
Great, and I'm sure the rivalry between TTR and ANZ is always going to be a light as usual. But Jared Philsell, the series champion from last year, he's come and retain his title, and he just managed to beat the legend himself, Madison, down last year. So I'm sure Madison will be coming back, firing on all 8 to try and take that series back.
Mate, what a battle too, to have it go down to the final race of the championship is exactly what we wanted for the V8 Scops, and And no doubt there'll be a few other drivers putting their hat in the ring to be title contenders, because there's some great drivers in Scots, and I can't wait for the new season to start.
Yeah, well, Joshua Rogers, I think, certainly knocking on the door for that #1 driver position for his team. Between him and Hampstead, they're a pretty unbeatable team, so they'll certainly be ones to watch this year.
Actually, as we speak of Rogers, he's fired into pit lane, so he's now taken on his stop. So lap 13 for Josh Rogers. Our race leader will take his trip down pit lane, service his race car. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, because the way it is at the moment, Blake Coppo is in second at the moment. He's a good 13 seconds behind Josh Rogers as he went into pit lane. So definitely interesting to see how this all plays out with pit stop strategy.
So keep an eye on Michael Crackman. He's sitting 7th. Just watch the pit stop time for Rogers.
I'll tell you what, boys, just looking back at the, while he's taking his stop there, just looking back at Ian Ford, who we know pitted early, he's got some major damage on the front left of that Commodore, and he's just coming around to 130R now, so he's a fair way back from this, and Rogers should come out in front, but yeah, he's sporting some damage on that left side.
I'll tell you what, there's not a lot in it between Rogers and Cracknell. Rogers has joined the racetrack in front of him. There's got a little bit of traffic in front of him, but he'll get the job done there, but not a lot in it between himself and Cracknell.
Yeah, and Ian Ford pitting again. Looks like that damage, he may have a meatball from that, and he's back into the pits again. So that looks like race-ending collision there for Ian Ford, unfortunately, around Suzuka. He might keep the car going around, just circulating, try and get some points, but yeah, back in pit lane, unfortunately.
Well, that's huge implications on the championship. We said coming into it, he was 3rd in the championship points, so this is going to be costly in the big point scheme, so definitely has to try and get this thing out, like you said, and grab as many points as he can.
Yes, now is sitting in 3rd and a 4th place contender for the championship here tonight, so I think Ian Ford will be still sitting comfortably. He probably will want to circulate and get some points for tonight, but yeah, disappointing finish for him. Didn't actually see what happened there. About that for sure.
Yeah, he's just come out of the pits now. He just quick stop, used his one fast repair that these guys get for the race, and obviously had no damage on his original stop. And he's back out. Looks like he's back out in 15th at the moment, but obviously a fair way off. And so I guess his goal will be trying to get this top 10 finish at least tonight to get some decent points.
Joshua Rogers is looking on form at this stage. He's very fast. He's coming out of the pit lane.
Come out in between that battle that we were watching a bit earlier on, and those guys have now spread out a bit between Atkins and whoever that else was in front of him there. So yeah, he's not going to get held up too much, I don't think, but again, as you say, he's pretty solid at the moment and looking good for another win. As he's all over the back of Rizzo here as he comes out the final through Dunlop curve there. Come around as we saw some alternate lines through here as we were talking about before.
Don't you love tyre grip too? You see how easy he made it look when Rogers just turned up the inside of Rizzo, just got the power down and pulled away from him. That's tyres are your best friend around here, so he's really making the most of it at the moment.
Yeah, he's got some nice fresh air, sorry mate, on the front of that Falcon at the moment, so look to extend that lead a bit now.
And these guys have really done well on their setup throughout the season. They've been pretty unbeatable, even when Hampstead has turned up the couple of rounds that he has. Been right there at the front. So as
the positions jumble around a little bit, the awkward stage of the race where pit stops start to happen. Our current race leader, Blake Coppo's now decided to take his pit stop. So he will surrender the lead, and that will go now back to Josh Rogers.
And Cracknell's still got Rogers in his sights there. There's only one car between them, but there's a decent gap there. So Cracknell's will just be looking to just keep pace with him, at least keep him in sight, just in case he does get held up by a bit of traffic later on. But definitely some clear track now that he's cleared that Castrol Commodore.
So the gap's at 3.5 seconds between Cracknell and Rogers. So great pace from Rogers in this race. Very similar to what we've seen in certainly the earlier rounds in the championship. Ian Ford has been knocking on his door. The last round, he won the last round. Right to the end in the previous round to that one. Yeah, these guys certainly the class of the field in the TCL cars.
These guys have been doing the best thing they can too for the series, because you think about Scops is not that far away. These guys have been keeping their eye in. Plenty of V8 miles, and tell you what, the best thing they can do is race in this OSR V8 series, because there's some pretty good names up and down throughout this field, and the important thing is to keep your eye in, because anyone will say that you spend a bit of time out of these cars and don't sort of do any sim work. By the time you get back in it and have sort of Christmas off and New Year and all the rest of it, they are a little bit tricky to get your head back round.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you there, Sam, man. I did one event last year for V8 Scops, which was the Enduro at Phillip Island, and I hadn't run the V8 in a long time, and I reckon it took me a good sort of 20 hours of driving to really get the feel of it again. So these guys racing in this series every week, certainly not losing touch with the car. We were fortunate enough to have V8 Scops 2015 winner Jared Filso come and run with us for a round, and he certainly didn't look like he had lost any pace.
That's a bit scary, isn't it? Tell you what though, Josh Rogers will be doing this easy. His last lap round was a 2:04.7 compared to second place Cracknell at 2:05.7. So he's got a good second up his sleeve as far as pace at this stage of the race. And of course, wasn't all that long ago before that Josh came in and made his pit stop. So fresher tyres, clean air, and he's got good pace. So things are definitely working in his favour to take the win out tonight.
About 13 laps to go, Sam, and you'd say if he kept that kind of pace up, he'd have this quite easily, and he might be doing a bit of a Gisbergen here, where he just maintains that gap, and we think he's going to maybe get caught, or he's slowing up, and then boom, just knocks out another lap record or something like that, with a few to go.
Well, the pace that he's got, like I said, a second up his sleeve, he can even afford to back it off for another half second, just to get the car around the racetrack, get his marks, don't do anything silly. He obviously doesn't have to worry about lap traffic at this stage, so it's all about just keeping that consistency. And the car looks good. It's looked good from qualifying, so he looks like he's doing it quite easy at the moment, which is a bit of a worry for the rest of the field.
Yeah, definitely in a real purple patch at the moment with his driving, even with that week off that he had. I heard he's just using that as a drop round. That wasn't one of his favoured tracks that he missed out on, and obviously we're seeing here that must be about the only track he's not favoured on, because he's doing fairly strong in the rest of the ones that he does choose to run, and yeah, he's a real contender this year.
So we've got Marty Atkins in the lane now. So he's doing his stop. He was third place as the shake-up continues as far as people making pit stops.
Yeah, I was just quite surprised how early these guys took their pit stops, to be honest. Such a hard track on tyres to put on lap 9 out of 30. Not even a third way through. His tyres are simply going to be worn out at the end of the race.
Of course, everyone's got a different approach to race tracks and their racing program. Of course, I think sometimes the rule of thumb is roughly halfway. You sort of think about, well, you'd like to pit at the earliest is about halfway, just so you know you got good tyres at the end. But you get some racetracks where you car set up where it actually works really well, and sort of if it's not too aggressive on tyre, where you can afford to make those early stops. But you sort of do roughly see sometimes guys aiming for about the halfway mark.
Yeah, that's normally my safe bet, Sam, man. I'm not too good at the old strategizing, so even though I do engineer for a real race team, but yeah, I normally just go halfway, and that's pretty safe, especially in the development series. They've introduced bits of, Rogers has a bit of a moment there coming in a 130R.
Heart and mouth situation.
Yeah, just on board, and so normally halfway is a good gauge for me, really, and that way you know how much fuel you've used, and it gives you pretty much a good idea of what you need to finish the race as well.
He just completes lap 18, so as it stands at the moment, we've got Joshua Rogers on 1. Crackton will sit in there on 2. He's 6.3 seconds back. And Blake Coppo on 3. Simon Black, who hasn't made a stop yet, in 4. Henry King on 5. He also hasn't made a stop. Ross Rizzo on 6. Matt Jones on 7th. Michael Telechnik on 8th. And Marty Atkins on 9th. Joshua Sortel on 10th.
Simon's hit pit lane, so he must have heard you, mate. Not doing a bad job though to start what's that lap 19 that he's in. So he'd be keen to see a fresh set of boots on that.
Yeah, I was just watching that while I was having that talk just before Rogers. I was on board with him, and he's not having the easiest time, Sam, man. He is fighting that car a little bit coming through the last set of corners there, and also he had a bit of a moment as we saw him through 130R. So don't know, maybe he's gone a little bit too hard on his tyres, as he did a 105.7 I think last lap. So he's just got to be careful and not to burn out too much and get too comfortable up there.
So he's going to take a lap around the Suzuka Grand Prix circuit. Something different than the top lap, but down the field. It's Paul Preston, so just right on board with him. awesome track that is. Personally would be one of my favourites in iRacing. In the early days before iRacing was around, a F1 game, which the only track that was available was Suzuka, and it's done a million laps around the place. So on the iRacing service and maybe at SUPERCAR it's another handful. A lot of fun at that.
Yeah, it definitely takes me back to my childhood days. Scotty with Gran Turismo 1. Probably a lot of gamers started off on the PS1 with a Gran Turismo series, which is one of my favourite series. And yeah, this track just, driving every car under the sun in that game around this track, it would seem to be pretty popular in most series you run in that game. So yeah, definitely an old school hit, and pretty much with any car combination really, with the different track layouts, is always a good track with lots of action.
Yeah, so Joshua Rogers, he hasn't made any bigger gaps from Cracknell in the last few laps. The gap is at 6.8 seconds. Cracknell's certainly not looking to be anywhere near him at this stage, but Rogers happened to make a mistake, which will be a very rare occasion. I certainly don't want to get on the commentator's curse. But yeah, streaks ahead at the stage, so we've got Cracknell there back in second. Great drive from Blake Coppo, he's sitting in third, and Ross Rizzo back in fourth. So a bit of a gap between Coppo and Rizzo, and then Matt Jones sitting in fifth. Marty Atkins, great drive from him, he's sitting in sixth at the moment. Simon Black, he's in ninth.
Yeah, it seems like the field is spread out a little bit here, Sam, man. As action's settled down for now after those pit stops, the field kind of cleansing itself out, as we've got Paul Preston and one of the Simworks cars here having a bit of a battle, as I just say that everything was settling down. But yeah, it seems the field's a bit more spread out than usual. We're used to seeing a fair bit of nose to tail pretty much right through the field.
Yeah, it was a little bit thick earlier on, and of course that incident that we saw in the exit of the chicane there in the early part of the race, that sort of did spread the field. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there for Henry King as he was chasing down Paul Preston. But yeah, that did shake the field up a little bit and took a couple of innocent bystanders out. Looks like we've got a car backwards back there too. Jonathan Hancock sitting in the gravel trap.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a moment. Not the way you want to be facing around there. That's quite a fast little kink through there, and obviously waiting for a bit of a gap, or he's got the thing bogged. But yeah, he's just sitting there at the moment waiting for a clear bit of track, I would say.
Henry King looking very racing, looking a bit taily there though.
Yeah.
Chasing down Paul Preston. Paul Preston's trying to chase down Craig Jones.
Yeah, and Hancock there just got real loose coming around the Dunlop curve there. He got the car out the marbles and had a bit of a tank slapper if he was on a motorbike, and just got all sorts of loose around there and ended up in the gravel. And then obviously just couldn't get back out on track with all the field starting to come through on him.
Henry King's got a bit of pace here. He hasn't long made his stop. Just have a look at the timesheet. He came in on lap 19, so it's his second hot lap out on the track. So he's definitely got a little bit of pace on his side as far as tyre grip. So he's thinking if he can just get past Paul Preston, and then not far in front of him is Craig Jones. So fingers crossed he can pick up a couple of spots here.
Yeah, and Preston, who we had the on board with just earlier, he's under attack there. He's got the right line through there. He's going to have the inside, but then with these S's, he's on the outside again and inside, and got to be real careful. You can run two cars around there. We've seen alternate lines as they get real close. And again, it's just side by side. You've got the outside. He's in the dirty stuff now, and he'll look for the inside at Dunlop here and try and hold his position. He's going to do well here. He's stuck it in there and stayed. So he's going to be on the outside though for the next corner. So we'll see how we go. You can't run too wide through here, surely.
Oh, he's got the wiggle there. He's going to look up the inside here. Can he hold on sideways? Oh, he's lucky not to make contact. Great bit of heads-up driving there from Paul Preston. Just gave him a little bit of room. And boy, oh boy, that could have been a lot uglier. King was looking for a move up the inside and just got sideways.
Wow, great driving between those two. Not to make contact there is a pretty big ask. Preston certainly gave him a lot of room.
I'll tell you what, Preston must have been driving his mirrors then, because as soon as that King's car snapped sideways, he was the brake and just ran a bit wide to let him have that room to run off. So I'll tell you what, he did a great job there, as you say.
Fantastic stuff. Because King, he's confident because he's got the tyre grip. So that's why I think he nearly had it there, but it just broke loose at the last second. And like you said, Preston, great heads-up driving there. So this battle will continue. Didn't quite get the run out of the straight that he would have liked out of that last corner. He's going to try and get some of that draft, but too tricky to dive up the inside, although he's thinking about it. He's starting to pull him in a little bit through the draft. And will he set him up before the chicane? Oh, runs a little bit wide. Touches the AstroTurf. Gets back in.
Great battle between these two.
Yeah, he's got a good run out of that last chicane.
Sorry, mate. I was going to say, the one person that's loving it is Craig Jones. He's managed to gap a little bit from these guys because they can see that King and Preston are battling behind him. But will King look up the inside? He's definitely got a little bit of pace. He's probably a little bit too far back. He puts it up the inside. Great side-by-side racing between these two, King and Preston. They're going to be doing it again through the S's.
Yeah, case of deja vu here, Sam, as you say, and he's thought about keeping the car there, but thought twice about it afterwards as they get real close through the S's again, but not side by side as last time. But I doubt that he'll try and make a move where he after the last one round after Dunlop there. But yeah, we'll see how he goes. He's doing well to stick right up his bumper. Not easy to follow someone under the wing through that section as you lose a lot of air off the front of the car.
Oh, a little bit wiggly there for King again. There we go. He's got a good run here through the exit. What sort of run can he get? It's going to be right at the point. Oh, he goes up the inside. He's going to lock it up. Yep. Oh, he's going to get sideways. Just touches the curb. He's got to grab control of the car. He's going to find it. Preston holds onto the outside there. King's just a little bit sideways. Got the left front up on the curb and it just upset the car a little bit. But look at the pace. He's trying to look for an outside run. Can't quite get the car position. Will he think about a dive up under brakes? No, thinks better of it.
Yeah, I tell you what, he found himself in the marbles there once he got sideways around the inside of the hairpin. He did well somehow to get the drive out of that corner, Sam, and to keep right up the back of Preston's wing there. And as they head down now, back to 130R again, I think he might just not be close enough here, but he might have a look into the final chicane and try and go side by side through there as he's right up his bumper here coming into 130R.
Get a good run just out of here. Yeah, it looks like he's been able to hold it, but he'll cover his line. Preston, smart bit of heads-up driving there. Just says, if you want the move, you're going to go around the outside, buddy. So, good bit of driving, giving each other plenty of racing room. Great to see. And of course, the difference between these guys on racetrack, we said it wasn't all that long ago that King pitted. Interesting to see how long ago it was for Preston, but he's doing a great job holding on to this spot.
7 laps to go now. Got Rogers still out in front. He's opened the gap up to 10 seconds from Cracknell. We go back to Blake Hoppo in third, who's sitting 15 seconds back from Cracknell. And then Ross Rezzo in fourth and Matt Jones in fifth.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Preston's run the wrong line through those S's there, and he's found Kingy on the outside, and he's going to the inside again. He's going to give that position up. Easy job there by King. Easy pass here. Preston got a little bit wrong there through the midsection of that S's, and coming around Dunlop now, he's going to try and drive away from him here.
Yeah, unfortunately, gift wrapped it for him, didn't he? It looks like he just ran in a little bit deep and then got a bit of understeer and didn't quite get the car set up for the next line, and he was just sitting duck, unfortunately. So it'll be interesting to see. So King will be able to pull away a little bit now, hopefully with that fresh tyres, and there's still a few laps under his belt. Hopefully he can chase down Craig Jones.
Got the rubber underneath them. struggling at this point now. Probably overcooked his tyres quite a bit, battling there. But still a great drive between these two.
Yeah, Greg Sharp and Darryl Hockey there, just behind them in 19th and 20th, having a bit of a battle there. They're about a car length apart, but they're doing well, and another close battle mid-pack as a fair few drivers have looked like they've retired out of this race, but can be expected around Suzuka. It's not the easiest track to drive in one of these things, so yeah, that's still some good battles with only a few laps to go.
Darryl Hockey, 20th, trying hard to chase down Greg Sharp in 19th. There's 0.6 of a second between them at this stage.
Yeah, and the Demidov Commodore looking a bit sideways through there.
Sharp having a bit of a moment.
Yeah, looking a bit second hand, that Demidov Commodore. He's seen a bit of wars mid-pack tonight, but he's doing well to keep it just inside the top 20 at the moment, but going to be under attack shortly anyway, with a few laps to go.
Simon Black sitting in 9th. He's on the hunt for Joshua Patel. The second gap between those two at this stage.
Simon's done a good job. He started this race in 22nd position, so to be inside the top 10, chasing down possible 8th position at the end of the race, he's done a great job. He's been enjoying his racing of late. I was lucky enough to catch up with him at Bathurst for the 12-hour, and yeah, good to see him in the car and doing really well. So great night tonight to be inside. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there coming into the chicane though.
He's pushing it hard.
He's not wrong. He's having a crack. He knows that 8th position is just there, so a little bit of lap traffic for these guys. So Jonathan Hancock just moving out of the way.
Yeah, so as we look at the gains for this race, Joshua Tortel started in 23rd position and he's up in 8th place. So great drive from him. Simon Black, he's moved up 13 positions. Henry King, 22 positions from his original starting place.
Nice work.
Nice work by him. Craig Jones, 15. Nick A. Parker, he's moved up 23 spots, so he's sitting in 17th. Raymond Steer, 15. Greg Sharp, 13. Darryl Hockey, 11. Marty Atkins, 9. So well done to Marty. He's going to be happy with his performance so far. 4 laps to go now as Joshua Rogers just goes across the line, and he's got lap traffic in front of him.
Yeah, he's got that battle I was just watching there, mate, with Hockey and the Demidov car. So we'll just see if he can clear these fairly easy, and these guys will hopefully get back to that battle as Hockey was closing in on him before, and he's got a good move now. That's brought him right up to the back of the Commodore.
It's always tricky,
Greg
isn't
Sharp
it?
in front of him there.
Sorry, mate. When you got yourself in a little battle and you got the leader coming behind you, it's tricky to sort of give plenty of racing room to the leader, but not to give up too much in the battle. But these guys did a great job to sort of get back into it again.
Yeah, Greg Sharp there driving that Demidov Commodore. Did well. He did lose a little bit of time, but not enough. That gap kind of back to where it was, better car length and a bit. But Hockey's trying everything he can with about 3 laps to go they'd have now, with just being lapped by Rogers, and hoping to get a move done shortly.
Oh, tight on exit through the F in there. Just a little bit of understeer caught him out, I think. Just a late braking move. Rogers has had it all his own way tonight, hasn't he? He was the only guy into the threes in qualifying and got a good start. There wasn't much pressure from the start and just managed to slowly open up that gap as the race went on. He's done a great job.
Just looking at this battle for fifth and sixth between Randy Atkins and Matt Jones. It's all on here, guys.
Well, the exit that Atkins got out of that under the bridge too. He's thinking about a move up the inside. He just wants to move around in his mirror just to throw. Oh, Jones, he's gone in deep, and that's exactly what Atkins needed to do. You move around in the mirror a little bit, and it does throw the guy who's in front of you because they tend to be looking in the mirror, and if they miss that braking marker, which maybe that's what Jones did, it can work in favour of Atkins, and that's exactly what it did. It sort of threw him into the hairpin, but it looks a little bit wiggly. The car doesn't look as controlled as he would like at this stage.
Yeah, and again, Atkins did well there, taking that alternate line through the hairpin, like nice and tight, and then like having a really narrow exit, but still maintaining that speed. Did really well, but yeah, it did look like Jones just pinched a brake there, Sandman, which caused him to run a bit low as they come into 130R again. And not close enough here to have a look through the last section of corners, but he'd want to get a nice run out of here and maybe look into turn one.
Oh, he's in a little deep. Now, can he hold this run? Looks like Atkins may get a bit of run of him. No, he just maybe wiggled a little bit on exit. They're pretty even as they go down the front straight.
Yeah, he's got to keep in that draft, and he's going to have a look here. He's not going to be close enough there, and again, might try the old switcheroo through the S's here if he can get a good run and put a lot of pressure on Jones. Jones has done well there. That was a nice clean line through the S's. Probably as good as you can try and take those things with a car right behind you with a bit of pressure. So he's maintaining that gap at the moment. As they come down around Dunlop here and through that tricky little section here with a little kink downshift, and then down under the bridge and into our famous hairpin that we've seen a few moves done tonight that Atkins might have a look down here. He's nice and close, got a good run through there.
Oh, yeah, he thought about it, but definitely moved the car to the outside. Great battle between Jones and Atkins here. 5th and 6 as the laps start to dwindle away, lap 28 of 30. So the guys know they're running out of time. Atkins looks fairly comfortable in his car. Not close enough to make any advantage, but will he have something for him down this long straight? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, all important exit out of here to give you a good run out. As we saw before, he's about a car length back, but this draft should pull him in a bit. And again, just needs to keep on him and see if he can make that run, probably again down the main straight and up through the S's.
We also look back at this battle between Simon Black and Joshua Sortel. Black all over the back of Sortel. As he's going to make a move on the last turn. Oh no, thinks better of it. Oh, nearly contact there.
I held my breath there. I thought he was going to make a move up the inside there.
It looked like he was going to. Don't know which battle to keep an eye on. Both the Oceanic Sim Racing boys turning it up for the broadcast tonight.
Here's Rogers now, just coming into the last chicane, ready to start his final lap. White flag will be out this time to start the 30th lap of this race. Just over an hour race distance gone, so fairly long race for these guys around here, as he's done pretty well tonight as he just crosses the line now to start his final lap.
Oh, Matt Jones covering the inside line into the hairpin. Atkins looking to get a run out.
Or has he run a little bit wide? No. Just the line that Jones is running. So nice strong exit for Jones there. So not giving anything to Atkins.
He seems to be able to get the power down a lot easier than Atkins can. He just flipped back to Joshua Rogers, running a very lone last lap there. Don't think he's going to have any issues here with spinning off or anything like that.
Yeah, he's had a nice clean race, Rogers. That car still looking pristine as it rolled out of the pits before the race. So a good clean race, and it's shown here with what's going to be a fairly convincing victory here as he does the last half of this lap.
He's definitely done everything right tonight, hasn't he, boys? He was quick in practice and, of course, quick in qualifying, and that's all translated into a great race tonight. Hasn't really been pressured throughout this whole event. A little bit close when pit stops came around, but he's pretty much had everything in his own court, and he's done a great job as he finishes the last part of this lap.
Yeah, through the final chicane now for one last time. As he comes round, he won't have to worry about this lap car, and he's going to come through and take another win for the series, and another convincing win at that.
So I think that is his 7th win of the championship so far. Just shows his pace he's got for the up and coming there at Scop Series. Second place we're going to have Michael Cracknell go across the line.
Yeah, and Blake Coppo with a good drive here for the Maverick Commodore, coming around for Evolution Racing in 3rd position. Good race there as well. Ross Rizzo, who we were watching earlier in a great battle, he's made his way all the way out the 4th, and that's going to be an excellent finish for the Plus Fitness Commodore as he comes through the last corner now as well. Excellent drive by Rizzo. He had his hands full halfway through that race there, man, and he's done well. Nice consistent race after that, and found himself a nice gap, and going to get a good finish.
Yeah, got himself in a good groove, and of course the battle behind him between Jones and Atkins, that's still going down into the final chicane, but Jones is going to hold on. Great run from Matt Jones. Started in 13th, put it home in 5th place. Marty Atkins will finish just behind him in 6th place. So great battle all the way to the end.
Yeah, Michael Talajancic, maybe, if I got that right. He come through in 7th. He had a good race as well, and was involved in some good battles that we were watching earlier as well.
Joshua Sortel in 8th, followed closely behind there by Simon Black. Couldn't quite make the move on Joshua. Mahia Ladyshoff finished in 10th. Craig Jones in 11th. Brenton Hobson in 12th. And Paul Preston in 13th.
Yeah, that was a really close finish there actually for 13th, 14th in the last bit there.
Yeah, I wasn't
Gary
too
Cooper
sure
across the line in 15th.
who got that. I might just go have a look and see what happened there. Oh, we've had Brendan Hobson make a move up the inside of Paul Preston there in the last turn. I might just go back and watch this last lap of these guys.
Fired it up the inside. He did a late braking move on Paul Preston, and tell you what, he was lucky to pull it up. That he carried an amazing amount of pace into that hairpin.
Preston was expecting it. He certainly didn't cover that line. Kind of chopped Preston's nose on the exit of that turn. Well done to Brendan Hobson there. So Adam Wayborn finished in 14th. Parker in 15th. the first of the lap cars. Greg Sharp in 16th, Raymond Steer in 17th, Daryl Hockey in 18th, Mark Newton in 19th, and David Miller in 20th. So, race winner for tonight, Joshua Rogers. So we've got Michael Cracknell, he's waiting up there waiting for an interview, so we'll pull him down. Michael Cracknell, not quite the pace tonight, mate, but well done on your second place finish. Got to be happy with that.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, no, I didn't have the pace of Josh at all. I did early on, but there was a couple of areas of track that I struggled to keep up with him, and once he got going, he was gone.
Nice job, Michael. It was a little bit close between you guys when the round of pit stops came round, so there wasn't a lot in it, but unfortunately just pulled away on the fresher tyres towards the end.
Yeah, I was hoping to maybe jump him in the pit stop by coming in early, but I encountered a little bit of traffic in the sort of 2 laps between my stop and his stop, and it might have been a lot closer if that hadn't happened when he come out. But having said that, I think he would have had the pace to get past me anyhow. So I think the results sort of, that the gap in the end, I think, would reflect that.
Yeah, well, certainly great drive from you, mate. It certainly looked to be a pretty challenging track on rear tyres. Not 100% sure what lap you made your pit stop in, but you had a reasonably good pit stop of 17.7 seconds.
I nearly. I was all crossed up coming into the pit lane, trying to get down to the speed limit. Wasn't sure if I would have made up time or lost time there, but as far as the rear tyres go, I was struggling for rear grip around the sort of double right-hander before the left-hand carousel, and also that sort of last corner before the main straight. It definitely punishes the rears.
Yeah, well, you were certainly in the hunt for the championship points. You were leading coming into this round. We haven't had the drop rounds applied as of yet, but you're certainly in the hunt for the championship overall. If Rogers doesn't happen to have a good round next week or doesn't turn up, I think you still are in a chance to win it, mate. So certainly driven really well this season. You'll be attending the first round of the V8 Scop Series this Sunday, will you?
Yeah, I'll be doing it. Unfortunately, Montreal is probably my worst track on the calendar, so it'd be interesting to see how I go there. Hopefully I can find something that I haven't in the last few seasons. I'm a bit of a slow learner when it comes to tricky tracks like that.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Oh, well, thanks for joining us up in the commentary box tonight. And will you be making it to the last round next week?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Awesome, mate.
Cheers, guys.
So we've got Mike T joining us in the commentary box now. How was your race tonight, mate?
I had an excellent race, thank you. 7th place is beyond my dreams. I never would have thought to get that good.
Yeah, that's good, mate. No, it was great to watch. You did really well. There was a bit of an incident early on in the race which you managed to avoid. So well done on your 7th place finish. How did the car go for you tonight?
Oh, excellent. I would say that's probably the best race I've ever done. I've been having a focus lately on trying to keep my tyres alive for a race rather than getting speed, and it just paid off. I had probably the most consistent lap speed I've ever had. Pretty excited at the moment.
Yeah, well, good. Well done, mate. That's awesome. That's really good.
Not a bad effort to come back from 18th on the grid too, buddy. So you had your work cut out for you. So a nice result to walk away from.
Oh, definitely. I think I had a bit of help. I think a few people are going to be using this as a drop round from what I saw. But definitely got through there.
Yeah, no, it was excellent. And will you be attending the V8 Scop Series this year?
Yeah, I'm gonna make my first attempt at it. I'm not too sure how well I'll do, but I'll give it my best shot.
Yeah, that's certainly what it's all about, mate. Going out there and having a crack. Practice makes perfect, certainly in the V8 Supercar. It's not a easy car to drive. And you've certainly been here on a Wednesday night on the regular. So I've been getting plenty of practice in for that series. Starting at Montreal this weekend. So anyone you'd like to thank while you're up here in the commentary box?
I'd like to thank you guys. It's making the race a bit more exciting, and the same with the OSR team. The OSR hosted races is why I still play or race in iRacing.
Yep,
Makes it very enjoyable.
Yep, certainly is. The OSR guys certainly putting a lot of effort into bringing great racing to the iRacing community. So thank you for joining us in the commentary box tonight, and we look forward to seeing you out on track for the first round of the V8 Scops this weekend.
Thank you.
So now we'll pull our race winner into the commentary box. I'll let you take care of Sandman.
Join us, like I said, in the commentary box, our race winner for round 10 here at Suzuka. Great job, Josh Rogers. Well done, mate.
Yeah, cheers guys. Was definitely some awesome fun that race. Just practicing my managing consistency in tyres and whatnot. So yeah, that was really exciting from the get-go.
Now, these races are never easy to win, mate, but you definitely made it look that way. You were quick in practice, and of course, the only driver to punch out a 203 in qualifying, and you had everything go your own way from the drop of the green flag. So it was a great run tonight.
Yeah, no, in qualifying, that was actually very much a last minute lap. That was about halfway around my last lap. Checker flag came out, so that last one was pretty important. But yeah, no, right from the start of the race, I was just trying to focus on getting a good start, getting away clean, not sliding the car too much on cold tyres, obviously to not ruin them too much for the end of the stint. But yeah, no, I noticed Ian got a little bit of a sloppy start, and so did Crackers. So just tried to capitalise on that as much as possible and keep my consistency up.
Of course, one of the benefits of running the OSR V8 series is you're keeping your eye in, and no doubt you'll be tackling V8 Scops for the opening round on Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. Scops is something I've been really, really looking forward to, considering we didn't get to do too much running in it last year. So, yeah, really looking forward to seeing what the gang at TTL can do. Hopefully we can bring some success back our way. After looking at round one last year, it was a really, really close finish, and it's what Scops is always like. So hopefully it's much the same, and some really close battles and really exciting racing and some fun to be had.
Now, for people who may be new to the series or don't drive the V8 a lot, we were saying just how important it is just to keep your eye in, I guess, is what you call over the summer break, because a lot of the guys will use maybe the last round of V8 Scops and they might take Christmas off and New Year's off and not spend too much time in a V8. But when you've got a series like the OSR V8 series where you can sort of keep your eye in and keep that seat time, that's crucial when you come into an opening round of a championship like V8 Scops.
Yeah, for sure. It helps a lot making sure you can just maybe at least do a couple races a week and just keep your eye in. And the V8 is one of those cars that isn't very forgiving when it comes to not being in the seat very long. I know a lot of people at the moment currently are struggling with that for Scops. So yeah, it's definitely something that's important. And over the school break, I was probably mostly just doing that. So yeah, that's definitely helping me a lot at the moment.
You had a great run tonight, mate. You've had a good season so far in the OSR V8 series, and no doubt you'll be a strong contender. I'll throw it to Fonty and Luke and see if those boys have got anything for you. But great run tonight, well done, and yeah, bring on V8 Scops.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Josh, mate, Fonty here. Hey, great drive again tonight, mate. You've been the class of the field throughout the season. I think you've had 7 race wins out of 10 possible so far this year. Certainly a lot of seat time for the V8 Scop series. Last week didn't quite have the pace for 40, but this week you've turned it up and come back and absolutely splits the field, won it by 13 seconds, which is a great effort by you and your team. Anyone you'd like to thank while you're up here tonight?
Yeah, just huge thanks to TTL and Jake Mullaney for doing my fuel numbers tonight. It was really important to have a guy with the experience like he does doing some numbers, and makes it all the more important when it comes to pit stops and strategy and whatnot. But yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks to you guys too for doing the wonderful broadcast that you always do, and I'll enjoy watching it back afterwards.
Yeah, choice, mate. No worries. Thanks for coming up and joining us, and we look forward to seeing you this Sunday for round 1 of V8 Scops at Montreal.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Thanks, boys.
Cheers. We'll pull down Marty Atkins now and have a chat with him. Marty Atkins, funny here, mate. Hey, great drive tonight to finish 6th place. Got to be happy with that, mate. You certainly haven't been, I don't think, in the top 10 throughout this series so far. So to come through and finish in 6th, you've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, mate, it was. I mean, it was through other people's unfortunate incidents. One incident there, or just after that, I'd actually gone to talk on the admin channel, my braking marker, and yeah, had a bit of an incident with one of the drivers in front, so I was a bit sorry about that. But no, it was quite good considering I don't get a lot of practice in, so no, it was a race.
Yeah, you and Matt Jones were certainly having a battle there towards the end. You were all over the back of him, but couldn't quite manage to get it done there. The car looks to be pretty hooked up tonight.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I found an old archive setup that we used last year, and all the guys used it in our channel. But yeah, I probably pitted a little bit too late, and when I came out, that was probably about good 8-10 seconds up the road. So I didn't think I'd catch him, but I could just slowly eating away, and I think his tyres had gone off. So I just pushed on, but by the time I got to him, I think I'd used my tyres up. So, but no, I had a good race towards the end.
Yeah, excellent. Well done, mate. Certainly, I was impressed with your performance tonight. Anything from Sam, man?
Well, mate, I was just going to ask him his preparation for coming into Suzuka. It's one of those racetracks you either love it or hate it. It can be a little bit tricky up through the S's as far as getting a good car balance, but you said you sort of hit on something that you found in the past, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it was a setup we used last year, and I said to Simon that we'd done a couple of laps beforehand, and I said this isn't going to be a very good night, and he was struggling too. So yeah, I just done a few laps, felt okay, but then I found that other setup we used last year. As soon as I put it in there, I said to the guys, I'm just going to flick it to you, give it a go, and yeah, they liked it straight away. So yeah, it was a night that I thought was going to be a shocker, but turned out to be quite good.
It's always nice. You did well, mate. You started 15th to bring it home in 6th, and you talk about Simon. He started back in 22nd, so and he finished inside the top 10. So hold on to that setup, mate. Make a couple of tweaks, and you guys could be dangerous.
Yeah, no, we I think most of us in our channel went pretty well. So yeah, pretty happy with that. While I'm in here, I'll just shout out to Jay Quellen, who is homesick, who watched us on the stream tonight. So yeah, hope she gets better.
No worries. Cheers for joining us in the commentary box, Marty. We'll now pull down Simon Black to have a chat with us. Simon, mate, great drive tonight to come home and finish in 9th position. Started way back there in the field and fought through. Certainly stayed out of trouble. You're right over the back of Joshua Sortel there at the end. Couldn't quite manage to seal the deal, but great drive anyway.
Hello boys, how are you?
Good, thanks, mate.
Yeah, thanks. Had a pretty decent drive tonight. Got a good start and got a few spots here and there. And yeah, I was having a good battle with Josh at the end there, but I got in a little bit deep into one and bent the steering a bit. So that was sort of the end of that fight, but I had a lot of fun. It's good. How'd you guys go tonight?
Yeah, really good. Great to have Sam Man on board for tonight. Some fresh blood up to Sim Speed TV's commentary box.
Nice. Hi, Sam Man. Hi, Luke.
There you go, mate. great to see your run tonight, pal. Like you said, started back in 22nd, so nice charge and definitely good when you can finish inside the top 10 when you start that far back.
Yeah, reasonably happy with the top 10 considering. So yeah, good fun tonight.
Yeah, good job, Simon, and yeah, definitely keeping us awake up here was Sam, man, with a bit of contact here and there in the field, and it was great to hear the call live through my headset out and turn it down at one point. It was nearly burst the eardrums there, but yeah, it's always exciting to have Sam man up for a call.
Yeah, man, Sam man's always good value.
You're too kind, boys. Thank you.
And sorry, funny.
No, you go, Simon.
I was just going to say, did you have an exciting race up the front there tonight? I didn't get to see any of it because I was pretty busy, but yeah, it looked like a good battle.
Oh, we had Joshua Rogers. He managed to take out the race by 13 seconds. And then Michael Cracknell back there in second. Good battle at the start there between a bunch of guys who all drove a bit too hard and managed to make contact, which you managed to miss all of that battle and come through and gain a few positions from it. But no,
yeah, I think so.
It was a good race tonight, mate. Certainly a lot of passing opportunities at this track, and yeah, it was quite good. I enjoyed it.
Well, thank you very much, boys, for your broadcast and your commentary tonight. Very much appreciated, and yeah, I'll go and have a drink later and watch it.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Thanks for coming and joining us. And obviously we have round 1 of the V8 Scop series, which you were kindly the host of for that event this weekend. And,
indeed, and you're going to be our broadcaster?
Yes, I certainly will be, and we don't have the legend himself, Sandman, joining us this weekend. He has prior arrangements, but we certainly will have a lot of great action for you in the event this Sunday.
The V8 Scops format always produces very tight fields because of the way the qualifying works, so it should be some exciting action for 2016.
Yeah, mate, it will be. Anyone you'd like to thank while you're still up here, Simon?
Well, I'd like to thank you guys again, Ponty and SimSpeed TV and the commentators, and yeah, thanks to the boys at OSR.
Choice, mate. Well, Simon, thank you for joining us up here.
Not a problem. Thanks, guys.
And so the last of our interviews for tonight will be Henry King. Henry, great drive tonight. You came through the field. You finished reasonably well. How was your drive tonight? Oh. No, Henry. Okay, no worries.
He's still recovering from a race, mate. He did really well, didn't he? Like, I think he started back in 34th position. So to come through, and I think it might have been 12th place he came home. So it's not a bad drive through the field.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. So that will pretty much wrap us up for tonight, I would think. So first of all, we'd like to thank Sandman for coming and joining us and filling in for Brooksy tonight. Brooksy was a bit sick. He's got man flu, so couldn't make it.
Poor baby.
And yeah, wasn't too sure if Luke was going to be able to make it, but he managed to come up and help out. So big thanks to Luke. But you will hear from us next time this weekend for the first round of V8 Scops. I will be directing, and there will be some other commentators that will be streamed through both SimSpeed TV and V8s Online. So this will wrap up tonight's broadcast. So you've been tuned into SimSpeed TV for round 10 of the Oceanic Sim Racing V8 Supercar Series, in which we came to you live from absolutely amazing Suzuka Grand Prix circuit. So until next week, this will be all for SimSpeed TV. Everyone take care, and we'll see you this weekend for V8 Scops.